Hello, how you guys doing? My name is Julius. I'm here to explain to you and share with you my assignment on linear programming. Right now, we're doing mass production on cookies. I got my beautiful daughter, Jasmine. She's making chocolate chip cookies. Then we got Jeremiah, who's the CEO, who's the founder of Chip Cookie Factory, and he's making white chocolate chip macadamia. And I got my mom; she's rocking and rolling with oatmeal raisin cookies, and his mom, she's actually helping too as well. I'm glad she's not. Well, now she's mixing the bowl. White oatmeal raisin is her favorite, so I don't know, man. Some of those cookies might come up missing, so you might need to keep your eyes on the Chip. And Jazz, right now, she's behaving herself, but I don't know how long she's gonna be on board and everything. So right now she's engaged, so I don't know. She might get fired before the video is over. So I'm gonna explain to you what linear programming is, and we're gonna go ahead and get the show on the road. So we got Chip's Cookie Factory, and I'm just going to give with you just some brief notes. Can I come over here, please? Thank you. Scroll down. So I'll be presenting to you the Simplex method using 3 variables. You need at least more than 3 variables to do the Simplex method pertaining to their constraints, and the graphical method using 2 variables pertaining to their constraints and how to find the optimal solution pertaining to their feasible region. And I'll explain that later on. What's the purpose of linear programming? Is it basically lets you know what's necessary or what's required for you to achieve or meet your objectives while navigating through constraints, which are restrictions and limitations. So anything you do is not going to be perfect. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be hindrances. So linear programming is there just to let you know how you navigate through those constraints and how you can still be profitable, which the main thing in business is to maximize profits and to minimize costs. If you want to use an example, for example, building or producing something and make a profit, reason why you need different variables, because depending on what you're manufacturing, like right now we're doing cookies, so of course there's different variety of cookies. There's white chocolate chip, they got their own ingredients. You got oatmeal raisin, they got their own ingredients. So if you want to factor in, let's just say if you're in the business of producing footwear, you got all kind of different footwear. You got boots, you got sand boots, you got sneakers. Some shoes have rubber, some shoes have wood, and just different types of products that cause for you to manufacture that shoe. So all those different items, all those different ones that I just named, those would be considered different variables. Explain to you the linear programming graph for feasible region represents when you set all of the solutions that address all your constraints in the problem. It's found that the graph where all inequalities constraints overlap. This is a very interesting one. When I was doing research and studying up on this, the way they broke it down, the illustration that they got is that there's a variety of different destinations. If you're trying to go somewhere, there's different ways in order for you to get to your destination. So, but even though you got different destinations, you got a quickest route, you got a scenic route, you got a route that bypasses railroad tracks. You might want to bypass school zones, but to get what those routes may have in common, you might be on the same street, or you might be on the same highway, you might be on the same road. So those things will factor in with the segment pertaining to those app overlaps. So what they have in common, they're different, but they still overlap, which makes they do have those things in common. Let's go to the constraint breakdown. So of course, like I explained to you before, the chocolate chip cookies, you had 50 cookies in 12 minutes, oatmeal raisin, 20 cookies in 10 minutes, white chocolate chip macadamia was 10 minutes, and we had an order for 36 for the chocolate chip, for the oatmeal 24, and the white chocolate chip macadamia was 12. Make sure that when you're doing the quantity, when you're doing these breakdowns, that you're doing everything the same. Right now, I did everything in dozens. I didn't do it individually. So if you do that, just make sure that you're paying attention, because it will throw off your calculations. It will throw off your data. So just please be mindful of that. The purchase price for the 3, for the 36. So that means that for $10 each was 1 dozen. For 24, that's 2 dozen. for the oatmeal raisin, for 1 dozen would have been 20. And since I only got 12, like I said, I'm going by the dozen with the white chocolate chip macadamia. It's only $15. And here, when you do your breakdown, Mom, if you want to just give, so I can show my work. And it just lets you know how much I broke down for the chocolate chip. So for 12 ounces, it would have made 5 dozen. Same thing with the oatmeal raisin when you break down in terms of ingredients. The rolling oats and the raisins, 20 ounce, 12 ounce. But in order to produce the dozen, or for the order that I was trying to, that we're aiming to produce, is only 0.6 of an ounce, or 1.8 of an ounce. So those are the breakdowns. Those are the things that you really have to pay attention to. With the chart, with the Simplex chart, I kind of like this. It's a simple way, just let you know that anything that's above 0 is going to be a constraint. So that'll let me know, just looking at it, that in terms of the ingredients, this will be considered a constraint. I have to make sure that anything that doesn't have a value of 1, there is no constraint, there is no roadblocks, there is no barriers. So everything should be able to flow and go, and you shouldn't have any problems. So that's explaining to you the Simplex method with the chart. Let's go over here to linear programming. So of course, like I said, you got 3 different cookies. With the graphing, you need 2 variables to use the graph. So we have variable 1, variable 2. We're going to use chocolate chip and oatmeal raisin because those cookies were the most profitable. So we wanted to use those. And like I said, we're trying to maximize profits. So I said, hey, these sold the most. Really wasn't a high demand. Really wasn't a lot of people. Even though I'm a huge fan of white chocolate macadamia. Please don't knock the. I hate that I include them, but just focusing on profit. This is where we reap the most benefit and where we got more bang for our buck making these cookies. So chocolate chip cookies and the oatmeal raisin. And so of course, doing these variables. Our mass capacity was 50. Matter of fact, if you want to go back to the constraint breakdown. So 50 cookies. So that right there is my target. That's my goal. So even though I didn't make 20 cookies, I might want to factor in, okay, well, what if I was able in a position to make 50 cookies? What would my profit margins be? And so if I was able to produce the 50 cookies, of course, we'll have a jump up right here with the oatmeal raisin and above the chocolate chip. So of course, where these intersect points would be this right here, this area where we're really trying to target at. This will be our feasible region. You want to bring that over. We're having some technical difficulties here, but we're going to figure it out. What's my time? 8:25. All right, cool. So this right here, this will be our feasible region. And this is, again, where the lines, where they intersect, and everything is on the backside of this region area. So this right here is going to tell us a lot about our product and what we're trying to achieve. And our points will be, can you bring, I have 8.4 here. B12. Okay, and those are our data points. So when I come over here, graphing out these points on this graph, 12.5 here will be on my x-axis. 16.67 will be on my y-axis, and right here for the constraint, which would have these 2 variables in common, where they will meet right here at the intercept, will be 8.4 and 8.3. So that will complete my presentation for the linear programming. If you have any questions, any feedback, please let me know. Looking forward to any advice. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Be blessed. Have a great day.